please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live.
Hey everybody, it's time for another series preview, and today we're going to be looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning, 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, versus the number 7 seed Columbus Blue Jackets. Obviously, the big storyline heading into this one is Tampa and Columbus and what happened last year in the playoffs when Columbus was the wild card 2 team. Tampa was the number 1 team in the league, but the Blue Jackets swept them out in the first round in one of the biggest choke jobs in NHL history by the Tampa Bay Lightning. But that was last year. And this is this year. It's a whole new season. It's a whole new playoffs. These teams meet again, however. Both have, similar rosters. Columbus has lost a lot, though, obviously, without Panarin, without Duchesne, without Dzingel, without Bobrovsky in net. Columbus has lost a lot. Tampa, pretty similar team. I think Tampa's gotten a little bit tougher, and that is something that is going to help them in the playoffs. And Tampa's a physical team now that can play playoff-style hockey and can play the kind of hockey that Columbus wants to play. And I think that's going to really be an interesting element added into this series. I'll come out and say it right now before I even get into talking about the teams. I don't think we're going to get a repeat of last year. I do not see a sweep in this series. I think it's going to be a long series. I think it's going to be a competitive series. And it's going to be really, really fun to watch. Before I fully get into it here, I just ask that you please subscribe if you are new and hit that like button if you haven't already. Those thumbs up go such a long way in helping the channel and are very, very much appreciated. But let's get into it, looking at some team stats here. First up for the 2 seed Tampa Bay Lightning, they went 43, 21, and 6 in the season this year, 92 points. And finished second in the East behind the Boston Bruins. In the round robin, they went 2-1, locking up the 2nd seed, which is where they were where they were anyway. They stayed in that position. They were the best offensive team in the league this year. 3.47 goals for per game, almost 3.5 goals per game for the Tampa Bay Lightning this year. First in the league, very, very dynamic offensive team. They're also really good defensively, too, only giving up 2.77 goals against per game, which was 7th in the league. So they not only have the first overall best offense in the league, they were top 10 defensively as well. This is a great all-around team in Tampa Bay. Their power play operated at 23.1% this year, which was 5th in the NHL. So they have a top 5 power play. You cannot take penalties against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And even their penalty kill was pretty good. It wasn't elite, it wasn't top of the league, but it was pretty good at 81.4% on the PK, which was 13th in the NHL. So still top half of the league in that as well. So this is just a great all-around team in the Tampa Bay Lightning. Their leading goal scorer was Nikita Kucherov with 33 goals on the season. He was also their leading point scorer with 85 points. So obviously Steven Stamkos has had health issues. He's not been able to stay healthy. And Kucherov has pretty much taken over as the top offensive guy for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Kucherov led the team in both goals and points again this season. Their leading penalty minute getter was Pat Maroon. Obviously not really surprising. Big, tough power forward there. And that's something about this Tampa Bay team this year. They are a tough team. They are a team that's not afraid to engage physically, throw big hits, drop the gloves. They've got a hard-working, tough lineup, and they've got guys in their lineup up and down throughout, all of their lines that can play that style of hockey. And they're going to be going up against a team in Columbus that's a very physical, hardworking, in-your-face style of team as well. So I think this is going to be a really physical series. I think it's going to be really fun to watch. And there is certainly going to be bad blood between these two teams. Certainly going to be bad blood here. And, not just because of everything that happened last year in their series last year, but also just because the way both of these teams are constructed. Moving on, looking at the Blue Jackets now. Columbus this season went 33-22 and 15 on the year, good enough for 81 points in the East. And they are coming off a 3-2 5-game victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs, knocking the Leafs out of the playoffs, and moving on now to face Tampa Bay. Columbus struggled offensively this season, only scoring 2.57 goals for per game, which is 27th in the NHL. So they're definitely a defense-first team. Now, what I will say is that injuries did play a pretty big role in that for the Blue Jackets and their struggles offensively. They had major players missing significant time this year. However, even healthy, they're still not a huge dynamic offensive team the way a team like Tampa Bay is. They're much more of a defense first, puck control, slow the game down, block shots, work hard, and grind out wins type of team. You're not going to see the Blue Jackets go out there and score 6 goals very often. They're much more likely to win games 3-1 than they are like 5-4. Defensively, they were one of the best teams in the league, giving up only 2.61 goals against per game, which was 3rd in the NHL, so a top 3 defensive team in the league this year. Obviously, that's huge. They have a similar dynamic to a team like the New York Islanders, a very defense-first team. The Dallas Stars, a very defense-first team, and that's certainly the way the Columbus Blue Jackets are built as well. Their power play struggled. They're not great on the power play. 16.4% on the man advantage this year, 27th in the league. So really kind of bottom of the league kind of power play there. Penalty kill, though, pretty decent, 81.7% on the PK. That's 12th in the NHL, so they are in the top half of the league on the penalty kill, and that obviously goes along with them being a top defensive team as well. Their leading goal scorer this year was Oliver Bjorkstrand with 21 goals on the season. Their leading point scorer was Pierre-Luc Dubois with 49 points. He obviously had a spectacular qualifying round as well. Dubois did against the Leafs. He was outstanding. And Nick Foligno led the team in penalty minutes this year with 62. Again, their penalty minutes are pretty spread out. They've got, toughness and just kind of a lot of those hard-working veteran-type players spread out throughout their lineup. But Foligno led the way with penalty minutes this year. So this is going to be a really, really interesting matchup here. There's so many storylines to this one going in. When it comes to prediction time, I am going with the Tampa Bay Lightning this year. Again, I don't think that we see a repeat of what happened last year. I think this is a huge playoffs for the Lightning. I think this is a redemption year for them. If you saw my predictions, I have the Lightning winning the Cup. So I'm going with Tampa Bay in 6 games in this one. It's going to be a hard-fought series. It's going to be a very, very hard-fought series. But I think the Lightning are finally going to get, come back with a vengeance, get redemption for what happened last season, and will be able to win this series and move on further into the playoffs. But this is going to be a really, really fun series to watch, guys. One of the best first round or traditional first round series that I'm excited for heading into this upcoming round here. These two teams, when they play, given what happened last year and the potential for what could happen with another playoff series, again this season. It's going to be one of the better ones to watch, I think. And just their style and the toughness on both sides, it's going to be big boy hockey. It's going to be big boy, in-your-face, physical playoff hockey. And these teams are going to be at each other's throats. And that's exactly the way that it's supposed to be in the playoffs. So it's going to be a really, really fun series, I think. I have Tampa winning it. Columbus certainly has a shot. If they play, like they did last year and just find a way to win, and that's what this Columbus team seems to be able to do a lot, is just find ways to win games. And if they can do that and just, all guts out on the ice, all hard work out on the ice, all 100% effort all the time, they could potentially knock off the Lightning again. So this is going to be a really interesting one to watch and a really fun one to follow. But with that, like, comment, share, subscribe. follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, donation link, merch store, and Patreon, all down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.